I want us to focus on some interesting story that is on page 2 of the Standard. Gideon Kalonzo alliance mooted. Moiben MP Silas Tiren said Gideon had the blessings of the Kalenjin community to provide alternative leadership. And we have some voices that Gideon Moi and a host of members of parliament had during the weekend. If we can have those voices and listen to them.
Iko watu mtu akianza kufanya tuning ya gitaa anafanya ting dong, mtu anaanza kuruka kiwanja already, na bado wakati itaanza sasa atakuwa amechukisha hiyo wakati wanaume sasa waingie kiwanja.
Ndume iko mbili. Ndume moja imekula mahindi yote, imekunywa maziwa yote, imekula sukari yote. Sasa hata kama ni kuchagua hizi ndume mbili, mtachagua hiyo imekula mahindi? Kwa hivyo bwana Gidi, mpira ni yako, funga bao.
Kiangalia sekta ya askari iko shida kubwa sana. Na kuna watu wenye waliharibu sekta ya askari. Na mnaona juzi bunge tulijaribu kutoa report ya askari, areas ya askari, na ikatupwa. Kwa sababu hao watu unasikia mnaitanga wakatezi wako kila mahali.
Tubadilishe hiyo formula, tuingize hiyo hesabu mheshimiwa Gideon Moi ndani. Tuingize Musalia Mudavadi ndani. Tuingize bwana baba ndani. Tuingize viongozi wa Waluya wengi ndani. Bwana Aseka ako ndani. Sio formula inaingia tu bila kufanya kazi mingi.
Didman, so do you think? You're so furious.
I think these are just jokers, and I don't think if I run for president alongside Gideon Moi, if Gideon Moi can beat me. Because where I come from, when we mention the name Moi, people, even the women, will like be frightened because you remember what Moi has done to this country. And if I were him, I would just drop that name Moi. And maybe a doctor is wrong, current name, whether Gideon Sankok or somebody, people can at least debate. But if you put Moi, really, for 28 years, this country has suffered. Then you want again to bring these issues of Moi. I mean, but what do you see? The people like Godfrey Ososi, you know what Godfrey Ososi represents? He has no ideology. He is a nominated member of parliament. He has on record, he is on our path with his own party leader. He is a fellow who nominated his second wife and mother-in-law. Really, we can't really waste time listening to this kind of thing.
He wants to verify. You can verify.
What he's saying, so I don't think I'll allow you to go along that line. But looking at all this, and even what is captured on the Standard today, that there's sort of an alliance that is being mooted for Gideon Moi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Musalia Mudavadi, and the target is William Ruto. So we are still a political system where we just look for one enemy and target towards them. How effective can that be? And what do you think in terms of what's happening now ahead of 2022?
There are two things I see at play here. First, there's what you're alluding to, that everything is being trained on stopping William Ruto from ascending to the presidency, which, in my opinion, is, like you've said, that's how we've been looking for an enemy. Every time it's, who's the boogeyman? Let's find the new boogeyman and make him the public enemy number one and rally everybody towards defeating public enemy number one. But then there's also the issue of, you're looking at the old dynasties, these old political families. When you're talking about Musalia's family, that's an old political family. Kalonzo is the odd one out in that particular equation. When you're looking at Moi as well, that's an old political family. And has been said even BBI is a propagation of these dynasties. It's the old Odinga order and the old Kenyatta order. That there are some families in this Kenya that feel entitled to have a stake at the seat of power. Whoever is in power, they need to have a finger in it. And when you see such a headline, then it starts telling you, you know what? They really want Gideon to be there. They know Gideon can't do it by himself. So maybe Kalonzo has got some street cred he can lend to him and sort of propel him forward. And that for me is disturbing because we have to come to a place where Kenyans are able to have an informed choice. And not all this corralling people. This is ndo hili zizi. Kila mtu aingie ndani. that's the sort of mentality that has gotten us where we are, where we have leaders who are elected and are not really leaders for the people, but they're beholden to other parties. When we talk about having somebody as a kingmaker, I mean, why should somebody be a kingmaker in a democratic system where supposedly it's the people who have the power to elect or not to elect somebody into office? So I think we need to have a conversation as Kenyans and just start demonstrating to our leaders that we can think outside the box. The way Honorable Didimas is telling us now, I mean, there's no question of being whipped anymore. Even Kenyans, we should refuse to be whipped. Form all alliances you want, but when you come to the ballots, we put everybody to them chujo. Because quite frankly, such headlines tell me people are sitting down thinking about their own arrangements, but they're not listening to the people. Like Honorable Baraza said, the name Moi, we are still alive. Who were alive when Moi was president. There are some memories we like about Moi, Maziwa, but there are some memories about the Moi era that were an era that we need to forget. So let's have, even Kenyans, let's be brave enough to break the mold, you know? They let people just give us the limited options. Time should come when we are actually somebody like Mwalimu Dida should be able to actually you've given us these ones, we don't want all of this, we'd rather choose this one.
And Prof, you spoke about you long for a day when we can be politic about issues, but unfortunately already the few leaders who were at that event, they are, of course, what do you call it, metaphorically targeting one person. And that's what we've seen in previous elections where we have one key figure being the target. For instance, in 2017, the key target was Raila Odinga, if I'm not mistaken. How then do we move towards your world where we are looking at issues and not politics of personalities?
I think we move by watching what we've just seen and not taking it as surface value. I really believe that one of what we need to deal with is that we have, as leaders, in my view, failed the citizens. Because we do know right from the very elaborate information that the Commission for the Constitutional Reform, there was a powerful way of going around this country, and we have said it even here on this table, that the submissions, I was observer number 36 at Bomas, and I know that the submissions that were made were to a large extent changed, as we have said here, by those who are in leadership and in the political class. And I think that sometimes when we get to discuss issues, I would long for the day that we go beyond just what we are seeing here. Because I think, and I want to get back to Honorable Baraza and just say that earlier on he had indicated that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga lost elections for 20 years. He didn't. He won 3 times. But there was a problem of disagreement. This is really Kenya. I think when we look at this, we must ask that. We have a Kenya where you can go for elections and you can come out and the person who says they won has not won, and the one, Kenya has been in a situation where, and leaders come and join this fray. So when you're sitting and you're watching, I know people who are in the diaspora, and they would ask and say, so what is really happening in Kenya? Because the leadership, especially the political leadership, and the institutions, whether they're the law enforcement, the police, the NIS, the institutions have been sucked into this ethnic, it's our turn to eat, that's our person, who is the other person. So my position would be that, of course, I am a nominated member of parliament, and I think there are times when people feel that a nominated member of parliament is the lowest of the rank. I'm not quite sure whether I agree with that. I think the methods of election, I think nomination is our method, but I would want to humbly suggest that when we go, as Honorable Richard had indicated earlier, to rallies, it is important for us, especially those of us who are in political leadership, to be a little conscious of what it is that we say. But I also would like to call on the fourth estate. I think I said this before, Sam. Kenya has made a lot of strides courtesy of the fourth estate. I think the 2017 elections, I think even going through and coming through the BBI, I think the fourth estate this time round was a very, very powerful way of getting Kenyans to see issues for what they are, sieving it, and to some extent providing a sense in which this is where we should go. I would call on the fourth estate perhaps not to give so much airtime in a way to discussions that only seem to be taking us back. I think let's look at where we were, let's see the efforts we are making, and as much as possible, let us allow the public, especially the Kenyans, to begin to have a voice and help us move forward.
Richard Onyonka, as you respond,
yes,
I want to make a quote on that story on page 2 of the Standard. A tsunami is coming and it's unstoppable. You cannot stop an idea whose time has come. And we are the dream team that will work towards changing the lives of Kenyans. We are working with Mudavadi in this campaign, said Gideon Moi. Do you see the tsunami?
Thank you. You actually dismiss William Ruto on your own peril. Right now, the most articulate, most young and vibrant person is William Ruto. I find myself historically and personally, at a very personal level, that I highly admire Prime Minister Raila Odinga for his history and his politics and what has happened in this country. I then get to a stage where I'm asking myself, my brother Musalia, you know, I was with him in the University of Nairobi. Sometimes I wonder what he's looking for. I don't know what he's looking for. Gideon comes in. I wish that somebody could actually take Gideon for some Swahili lessons and have him be able to articulate, because politics is about talking. We get paid to talk. And Gideon needs to be sat somewhere by somebody to be able to talk. He's not talking. You know, let's now put it the way it is. He's not talking. He's struggling with, I don't know whether he's able to speak Kalenjin. I wish he did. Then we can translate. Wow. Now, where we are, Kalonzo, as far as I'm concerned, he said he's going to be mtu wa mkono wa Uhuru. This man was a history, an incredible, he was one time actually going to be president of the Republic of Kenya. And then he goes and announces, he says, oh, you know now, me from now, I'm Uhuru's.
Maybe he's standing
and
for
this is the team you are lining up against Ruto. You are in trouble.
Maybe he is rooting for peace.
No, the initiative, the handshake historically was a necessary arrangement and a necessary engagement to make Kenya a peaceful country. Nobody can question and doubt that. But you see now, when you take this thing and then you are busy having all these guys lining up themselves, you know what is going to happen? People are going to elect somebody in this country like Trump. How did the Americans elect Trump? All right, you are going to have Kenyans who are going to sit back and say, you know what, yes, even Onyonka is okay. Onyonka, so you run this thing and we give it to you. Then they'll start running after, oh my God, how do we go? Oh my God, what do we do? Oh my God, what do we do? And yet in reality, what we are saying, let us allow meritocracy. Let us allow good governance. Let us allow leaders that when we look, who give us hope. Let us look at leadership that is leadership that if hata ukiuliza mtoto unamuuliza unaonaje, anakuambia Raila ako poa, lakini mami naonanga Ruto anaongea vizuri.
Really, Richard?
You know Sam, I just want to remind the panel.
You're making a point without making it.
I want to remind the panel of what happened in 2013. The opposition by then, led by the Honorable Raila Odinga, had a clear chance of winning the presidency. But they forgot, instead of them selling the agenda, what they are going to do for Kenyans, they were selling how Ruto and Uhuru were criminals being tried at ICC, why they were not fit to be president. Kenyans went ahead and elected William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta as the president as his deputy. So, I mean, again, they are committing the same mistake. You are free to do an alliance with anybody, even as we are also doing an alliance in the next 2 weeks as members of parliament who are young, to be able to oversight government, because it appears that those who are supposed to oversight government, they are going to bed with the government. The ODM and the NASA are now the right-hand man of Uhuru. They are Mutia Mukono ya Uhuru. So we are also going to make alliances ourselves to be able to put government on toes and other work on behalf of Kenyans. So they are committing the same mistake. Now they are coming together. All they are saying, Now the one now they've identified William Ruto as a bogey boy. Now they want to blame him on everything. Everything is William Ruto, is William Ruto. And I tell you for free, Kenyans don't care about the integrity of a person. We all have integrity issues. You remember what Kidero was talking about? You remember what Kidero was talking about Sonko? When he was the senator, he went ahead and beat him. Now he's governor of Nairobi. I mean, the Kenyan politics is propagandist in some way, where I look at Onyonga and I try to look at what bad things Onyonga has done. Even the Bible, I mean, you might be thinking that Onyonga is a sinner, and maybe he repented yesterday. God forgave him a long time ago. So people should craft the agenda for this country. Let them tell the Kenyans what they will do, how they will improve their life. Not just propagating hate speech, things that take this country forward.
I think my take home from what Didmas just said is that all of us have integrity issues. He has spoken for himself, I believe. I want to look at what you've been texting us on 22422. There's someone here saying that rain started beating Parliament and parliamentarians. They are all owed a few individuals from the executive to associate themselves with and impress on the public that projects approved by Parliament and implemented by the executive is their effort. I don't quite get what that means. Then someone else says that that is Kiprono Abraham says that amending the constitution just because it doesn't serve political elites well is a misplaced priority. Let's examine it in terms of Wanjiko's parameter.